Has this happened? Can you believe he did this and this and this, And one of the people I reached out to was my father.
Depp's lawyers say the judge's rulings were fair, and a Depp spokesperson told us it's unfortunate that the defendant and her team are back to repeating, reimagining, and relitigating matters that have already been decided by the court. Amber thinks the case wasn't just decided inside the courtroom. She believes what happened outside made all the difference. There's a text message where Johnny promises total global humiliation for you. Do you feel like that came true?
I know he promised it. I testified to this. I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim, I get it. I'm not a saint. I'm not asking anyone to like me. But when I testified, I asked the jury to just see me as human and hear his own words, which is a promise to do this, a promise to humiliate me, a promise to ruin me. It feels as though he has.
As the trial unfolded inside that Virginia courtroom, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were being judged in the court of public opinion.
This Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing has been going on for a little bit now, and it's gotten pretty wild.
Though both stars had their supporters on social media, there is no question that the internet sided against Amber Heard.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
I mean, this was a sort of medieval orgy of hatred.
Michelle Goldberg is an opinion columnist for the New York Times.
I think it was, people really enjoyed joining in. That's, often the case with mob behavior. And I think that's essentially what this was. It was kind of, misogynist mob behavior.
Online, people picked apart Amber's every move. Videos ridiculed her facial expressions and accused her of faking emotion on the stand.
This is just a fake crying train wreck you can't look away from.
Johnny, you hit me. You hit me. It was really striking to me to see all of these people engaging in this trend of reenacting her testimony.
I was walking out of the bedroom, slapped me across the face.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. A domestic violence trial becoming this source of national hilarity.
One of the most infamous moments in the trial was when Johnny Depp suggested she may have defecated on their bed.
And on my side of the bed was human fecal matter.
Amber denied it, but that didn't stop the internet from branding her with a viral nickname.
I saw what was happening to me in real time. I don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home and my marriage behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know those things, and so I don't take it personally. But even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all this hate and vitriol, even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
If Amber was the villain, then Johnny Depp was often portrayed as the hero.
This dude's such a stud.
People online found his grasp of the law charming.
That's hearsay, I guess. Learning.
And testimony about his drinking only seemed to endear him more to his digital fans.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
During the 6-week trial, jurors weren't sequestered. They spent nights and weekends at home with their phones.
I think a majority of this trial was played out outside of a courtroom, unfortunately. I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. And I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
Depp's attorneys reject the notion that social media influenced the jury in any way. They say they believe jurors followed the judge's instructions to not read about the case. They said social media wasn't the problem, Amber was. The Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime, and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
Coming up, the verdict. What might the impact be?
I worry about some of the very, very real fear others may have about coming forward.
And what may surprise you?
You issued a statement. I still have love for Johnny. Is that still true? After 6 weeks of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard slugging it out in court, the case went to the jury. It's the day of the verdict. You come into the courtroom. Were you feeling confident?
It's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true.
Question. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer. Yes. Court is adjourned. Thank you.
In the end, the jury believed Johnny Depp, awarding him more than $10 million in damages. Amber won a single defamation claim in her countersuit and was awarded $2 million. There's no polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony, and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
I'll put it this way. How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees, and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. It wasn't, I don't blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character, and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Their job is to not be dazzled by that.
Again, how could they, after listening to 3.5 weeks of testimony about how I was an uncredible person, not to believe a word that came out of my mouth? I'm a hysterical woman. I'm a crazy woman. I can't be trusted over and over again.
Johnny Depp was quick to celebrate his victory in a statement that read in part, "From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth, regardless of the outcome," adding, "The jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled." When I asked his lawyers, "Why do you think you won?" the answer I got was, "Because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage." And as we're sitting here and I watched her cross-examination, there's an answer for everything. Do you feel you should have owned up to more of your own bad behavior that was revealed in court?
I'm glad, actually, you asked me that, because, there is an answer for these things that you say. I said this on the stand. You hear my voice in those audio tapes. It's not the voice of me now. That's not who I am now. I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. I have so much regret.
On the first day of the trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, "I still have love for Johnny."
Yes.
Is that still true?
Yes.
After everything?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love him. I loved him with all my heart, and I tried the best I could to make a deeply broken relationship work. And I couldn't.
Amber Heard says she intends to appeal her case, and she's concerned her defeat may be a setback for other women.
I hope this hasn't, had the chilling effect that I worry it may have on other people. I worry about that. But if I can look you in the eye, Savannah, and say, I'm still here, and maybe that serves to balance out some of the very, very real fear others may have about coming forward or speaking out.
How do you see your future now? Do you think you'll act again?
I get to be a mom. Like, full time.
One day you may want to tell your daughter about this, or have to tell your daughter about everything that you've gone through. What would you tell her about what happened here and what this experience has meant?
I think no matter what, it will mean something. I did the right thing. I did everything I could to stand up for myself and the truth. I look forward to living my life, and I have a long one, I hope, in front of me. And I will continue to walk through this with my chin up.